I'm a little bit nervous to make this video because I'm talking all about why I've chosen not to take insurance as a therapist in private practice. Now, this is a pretty controversial topic. I really debated before I made this video, but let's go for it. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Kelley Stevens. I teach therapists how to fill their caseloads and how to build successful private practices. You can check out more about that below, but let me tell you the first reason I don't take insurance. Reason number one why I don't take insurance, and it's probably the biggest one, is because I simply cannot meet my financial goals by taking insurance. Now, you might notice when I said that I didn't say I can't pay my rent. I didn't say I can't afford to live on what insurance would pay me if I was an in-network therapist. So this is where things get tricky because technically there are insurance companies out there that do pay a living wage. However, as a therapist who lives in Southern California, has kids that I financially support, has a life, and also as a therapist who has financial goals, right? I want to put my kids through college. I want to be able to go on vacations. I want to save for retirement. I don't want to just live at the bare minimum. As a therapist who has those priorities, I know that I can't meet the goals that I have for me and my family based on insurance and what it will pay me. Now, one thing I should disclose in this video is that I bill $250 per session. Now, I want you to take into account that I do live in Southern California where rents are high, overhead is high, office rent is high, all of that. And that is actually a pretty typical fee here in California, and it might be really different in other parts of the country. However, what I want you to remember is that the reason that I chose not to take insurance is not because I wouldn't be able to afford my life taking insurance, but because I wouldn't be able to meet my financial goals. And for me, that felt good enough. Okay, here comes reason number two. I didn't want to deal with clawbacks. So I have multiple colleagues who take insurance and have had clawbacks happen. If you don't know what a clawback is, it's basically where an insurance company says there's something wrong with the client's chart, or you didn't provide this note, or we just don't feel like we're going to cover this. And they ask you for the money back that they have already paid you. Now, for me as a small business owner, it should go without saying that this would be incredibly stressful. I worked for a group practice once that had $20,000 in a clawback asked for them from an insurance company. And I don't know about you, but for me, if an insurance company called me today and said, you need to give us $20,000 in cash, that would be very challenging for my business. So reason number two that I decided not ever to take in-network insurance was clawbacks. Reason number three is that I don't want insurance to dictate treatment for my clients. I work a lot with teenagers. For the most part, many of my teenage clients, although I do give them DSM diagnoses, also are just facing very typical life stressors that happen to teens. The teen years are complicated. And I didn't want insurance companies to dictate how many sessions that I could see a teenager based on a diagnosis. Because if one of my teens came in and had 12 sessions and had a specific diagnosis and the insurance company said, okay, 12 sessions are up and you can't see them, and then all of a sudden they broke up with their boyfriend and didn't get asked to homecoming or whatever it was, I would still want to be able to see them. As I was thinking about the way that I work with my clients and specifically the way I work with teenagers, I wasn't willing to sacrifice the quality of care I provide, the length of treatment, or the modalities that I choose to use based on whether or not an insurance company would allow it. So I decided not to take it. One thing I want to tell you before the very last reason of why I don't take insurance in my private practice is I do work with a company called Mentaya. And what Mentaya does is actually submit the out-of-network super bills from my clients to their insurance company, charges them, the client, a 5% fee, and helps them get reimbursement. So if that's something you're interested in, I will put the link below, but let's get into the very last reason that I don't take insurance. This one might be kind of a surprising one, but one of the reasons I don't take insurance is because the place where I was an associate, which was a big group private practice, didn't take insurance. And the reason I want to point this one out is oftentimes in our industry, we are raised around other therapists. My bosses didn't take insurance. So I learned really early on how to market myself for cash pay clients, and I learned how to bill my sessions out of network. So when I went to open my own private practice, because this is what I knew how to do, I knew how to market myself and I knew how to get cash pay clients, it's what I ended up doing in my own practice. Sometimes if you have done your training in an insurance-based site or in a community mental health-based site and you haven't learned how to market yourself, it can feel extremely confusing to figure out how to build a cash pay practice. That is entirely what I do for therapists. I teach them how to market themselves to cash pay clients. If you want to learn more about that, I have a Marketing for Therapists course, which you can check out below. And here's what I want to say. The decision to take insurance or not take insurance is a really personal one. It's one that you have to do some soul searching on and decide what works for you. In another video, I'm going to share how I create accessibility in my private practice and what my sliding scale is. I would love to hear from you. Tell me in the comments whether or not you take insurance, what your thoughts are on it, and I'll see you in the next video. Make sure to like and subscribe.